I was thinking about this idea last week, and
Like my
it's
style?
so
Hit the
very
subscribe button so you
no,
don't miss any future
and it's
videos.
about grimacing. It's like a facial expression used to express discomfort, perhaps dissatisfaction, or even discontent. It's kind of like a wince, that's another way to put it, where your body kind of like braces or contracts or even cringes at something. That's something that I've always tried to avoid carrying on my face because I know that seeing that on other people is pretty infectious and can often leave you feeling in a similar way. And if you're familiar with RBF, not to be confused with that, because some people just naturally have a grimace on their face, you know? But what I'm kind of referring to is more so that look that some people have that really just gets you wanting to look away, because it's usually accompanied with sunken eyes and dark circles, which are natural to an extent, you know? Life's tiring, life's heavy, and if you work a lot, you know, that kind of necessitates that your body's gonna change and start to show signs of wear and tear. But at the same time, there's a certain implication of the self that comes into each expression that we show. And not to say that we control everything, because obviously some are passive, but some people carry that grimace so naturally, and it makes them look a little bit scary, you know? As if they're pretty much dominated by their, you know, darker, more more vacuous sides, meaning that it's the more empty space devoid of energy and, you know, maybe more positive intention. Again, that could be by choice or not, but what can you do when you interact with it, you know? I think probably minimizing the amount of time that you spend catching that glare. If you're an empathetic person, perhaps you'd be motivated enough to try to find out why that other person carries that expression. But if you see it often enough, you do have to be careful to not, you know, begin to accept it or let that in to you and your own emotion. So being able to kind of isolate that from yourself, which is hard because some people's grimaces are so sullen, you know? And it doesn't mean that they're bad people, but they're just barren with emotion, and it's hard to want to give anything because it feels like it just gets thrown into a void that isn't reached. This person's so far into their feeling of expressionlessness in a way that, you know, anything you throw in there kind of just gets sunken in, absorbed, and you definitely don't get that back in probably 80% of the cases. Now, if this is someone that you trust and someone that you know well, then that might be different, because you might be able to exchange something and you might have a healthy relationship with that person where giving does lead to, contentment and satiation of, whatever needs that person may have, and vice versa. But for new people, or people that you are kind of maybe trying to build a connection with, it's good to watch out for that. And if you experience the grimace, then I would say find out what is it that makes you feel that way. Identify that feeling, and obviously try to mitigate the causes, and whatever scenarios provoke you to elicit that feeling, try to avoid them, or at least try to minimize their effect. I think laughter and music are two good ways to kind of probably heal that feeling, where one kind of takes you in the complete opposite direction very forcefully. The other kind of allows you to sink into it and really explore it. And music, I think, can let you reflect. Laughter is going to help you kind of either become distracted or perhaps, just fill that space with something positive immediately. So, yeah, that's the grimace that people wear on their face. Brace for impact if you see that place. Don't travel to that space so readily, so steadily. It will move you out. So yeah, that's kind of the concept, and it's just something that I've seen around recently, seen on some people that I've been near, and I just want to stay away from it because without judging too harshly, I don't have too much emotional room for that type of look, because it's typically associated with some sort of disdain or dissatisfaction with that own person's state, be it financially, physically, mentally, psychologically, etc., which naturally gets transposed or transferred to you, even if you don't ask for it, and you're going to be left with some of it, and it just keeps passing on. And I think we'd rather pass on something more, kind and full-hearted if we can, but if that person's not able to accept it based on their condition, then I think we should, kind of step back and be like, okay, I'm gonna take some space. So just something to watch out for. Try to stay in your own space that feels necessarily healthy, compassionate, empathetic, and never be afraid to minimize the time you spend around, sources that take your energy versus give it back. So with that being said, I'll see you on the next one, and take care. Peace.